It's Misty again. You ever get tired of buying seasoning packages? They're $1 something for just a little bit, one serving? I'm fixing to show you how to do taco seasoning and ranch seasoning for less than $1 each. I'm guessing. I've never did the math. I've seen others do the math. They say about $1 each. Anyways, I'm making a little bit more. Not one serving. Anyways, here's my taco seasoning. Isn't it pretty? Here's my ranch. All labeled. I use I have pint size jars, canning jars, and I use Parmesan cheese lid. They fit on top. Then you can use the spoon side or the sprinkle side. Come on, I'll show you how.
Got the camera adjusted. Here we go. And I will have the recipe for the taco seasoning and the ranch dressing in the details below. We start off with 1/4 cup of chili powder. And before we start, I will tell you, yeah, I know I did the amounts funny on this, but this is scaling it up over time from a little thing to family size. So that's 1/4 cup chili powder. Next, we're doing 1/8 cup of garlic powder. And yes, I could probably put that in and get the translation in tablespoons, but this is how I do it. So it's about 1/2 cup. And that's 1/8 cup of garlic powder. I have 1/8 cup of onion powder. And then I have 3 tablespoons of crushed red pepper flakes. Now you can run these through a blender or spice grinder to make them small, or you can leave them like this, depending on how you want to use your taco seasoning. A lot of times I generally run it through, well, I'll wait till I'm done and I run it through, but it's up to you whether you do that. Next, we have 2 tablespoons of oregano. If y'all hear something that sounds like a low, deep vibration in the background, I have a cat and a kennel because she's in isolation and she is not happy and she's growling the whole time. Sounds like an engine. So now we have 3 tablespoons of regular paprika and 3 tablespoons of smoked paprika right after. Most recipes don't call for smoked paprika. I just like the little extra layer of flavoring it gives. So that's why I do it. You could also, if you didn't have that, you could use chipotle chili pepper. You could use ancho chili pepper. But I really like the smoked paprika. Next is cumin. Cumin. This is the cornerstone of all Tex-Mex flavors. And we're using about 1/8 cup, maybe a little more. And then about a tablespoon of pepper, regular pepper. I guesstimate here because I'm using the grinder and it's not easy to measure that out. And then 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can use more or you can use less depending on how spicy you want your taco sauce seasoning. Ethan has a problem with spice, so I tend to stick with this measurement. But you can put more in it if you want. And then here comes the second addition that most taco seasoning recipes don't add. I add cilantro to it. Now, if you don't like cilantro, you don't have to have it. I understand for a lot of people it tastes like soap, but we like the flavor of it. So I add 2 tablespoons. Then I don't use the top of the spoon, I use the back end of the spoon. And I stir it together best I can. I bring it up from the bottom and just toss it around. Now you notice my little bowl here has a spout on it. This is fixing to come into play. Sorry, my chair is squeaky. But I get this all mixed up best I can. You can run it through the food processor or through a spice grinder to make it all small and powdery. Or you can leave it like this. Me, I don't. So I put it in a 1/2 pint mason jar. Regular mouth mason jar. And I use, like I said earlier, I use the lid from Parmesan cheese. Okay, so this makes a little bit more than 1/2 pint. It's probably about the amount that I had left in the other. So I will put it in I have a larger jar put to the side that I usually make stuff in. So here goes the ranch. Don't forget, I have the recipes typed up in the description below. It's ranch. The first one on the ranch is 1/4 cup of onion powder. You can use onion powder, you can use minced onion, or you could use chopped onion. I use chopped onion that I've run through the food processor to make it into onion powder. So it's somewhere in between all of those. Now I use 1/4 cup of parsley. Parsley and onion powder are the big ingredients in this. They're the big flavors. Okay, smoked paprika. We're going to put 1 teaspoon in. I don't know why I wrote 2 tablespoons. Why are you attacking? You can't attack the microphone. Y'all, I can't ever do voiceovers or anything without making noise. I will put the correct measurement down below. It is 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, not 2 tablespoons. I don't know why I wrote that. And 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Or you can use pink Himalayan salt. You can use any natural salt you're not wanting to put. I mean, you can. A lot of times I just put regular iodized table salt. It's 1 teaspoon of salt. And then back to 2 teaspoons of pepper. So I'm guesstimating these amounts with this because, again, grinders. So now we have 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Now we have 2 teaspoons of dill weed. Do y'all remember when this used to be an insult when we were in like middle school? I think that's where the word dweeb come from. Anyways, now we have 2 tablespoons of chives. That's not something that's in everybody's recipe, but I added, it's another layer of oniony, bright flavor. Now, I don't use, well, I do. Occasionally, I do make ranch dressing with it or ranch dip, but mainly I use this chicken. It when you do like fried chicken or fried baked chicken or just baked chicken, this makes a really good seasoning mix. And again, this is like I use the other end just like I did the other. But this makes really good seasoning for anything you're baking, roasting. You can run this through the food processor to make it all powdery, or you can leave it like this. And again, mason jar, half pint mason jar. And pour it in. I have the spout and I pour it from the side. Y'all, tell me, I've lost my mind. Anyways, see, normally it makes about that much. And then I just give it a couple of really good shakes. And that's it. Now you have your seasonings. Y'all remember to subscribe, like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever, ring the bell. I don't know what they all call that. Down below. Recipes in the description.